Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Happy New Year's, everyone. Happy New Year's, everyone. Okay, so if you are watching this, I have an energy drink. I have coffee. I'm very jacked up. I have Cincinnati, Alabama on the DVR. I have no idea, no clue what happened. No clue. So do not tell me to score. Do not tell me to score. Do not tell me to score. I am posting to you live on Facebook. I am live on Twitter. And I am live on the YouTube. And I'm actually double checking myself on Facebook. Seeing if I am actually, okay, there I am. Okay, perfect. Funk, man. Happy New Year, brother. Happy New Year. I'm going to steal this from Luke G. Please be safe tonight. I want to hear from you. I do not want to hear about you. So be safe tonight. Have a great time. I am going to watch college football. Again, I have Cincinnati, Alabama on the DVR. I have no idea what happened. So don't tell me. Don't tell me. But then again, hey, look, I'm doing the show live. So I have to deal with it. Before I get going on my NFL picks, I want to talk a little bit about John Madden. I started watching football. I became obsessed with football in 1981, the famous Chargers-Dolphins playoff game. That forever changed my life. I've been obsessed with football ever since then, seen every single Super Bowl from Super Bowl 16 on. I know John Madden as an announcer and one of my all-time favorite announcers. I don't know if he was the greatest announcer of all time, but if you just as an announcer, he should have been in the Hall of Fame. Just as an announcer, should be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. 10, 20 years from now, everybody will remember about Madden as a video game. But the thing is that he's one of the greatest coaches of all time. A lot of people don't know this, but one of the greatest, an innovative coach. I think he's either number one or number two all time winning percentage. One or two all time winning percentage. Funk says, would you say John Madden was kind of a meathead? I actually don't think so. A lot of people think that, and it's okay to think that. But a lot of people forget how innovative and how much he changed the game as a coach. Like I said, winning percentage is either number one or number two all time. Won the Raiders' first Super Bowl as the head coach. But he had three rules. 3 rules as a head coach: be on time, pay attention, and play like hell on Sundays. In the 70s, this was revolutionary. Take for example, the Kansas City Chiefs had Hank Stram. They had a strict dress code, assigned seats. You had all these rules and regulations. Football comes from the military. For those of you that don't know, I'll give you a little history lesson. Football comes from the military. Everything about football is directly descendant from military. Everything. Terminology, the game plan, everything. So John Madden became a head coach at 32. He was at the time the youngest head coach. Don Shula was also very young when he became the Baltimore Colts head coach and then the Miami Dolphins head coach. But Don Shula was a very old school guy. Madden didn't care. He was the very first players coach. If you wanted to show up to game day wearing t-shirt and jeans, you could. Madden was the first coach to implement that. He's just like, all I want you to do is just show up on Sunday and play like hell. That was very revolutionary in the 70s. A lot of coaches, you had the dress code, assigned seats. Madden just didn't care. You wanted to go out all night like a lot of Raiders players did. You show up to the game hungover, but you play like hell. You win the game like Stabler often did, and he didn't care. First coach to be like that. Would Stabler have been a Hall of Fame quarterback under somebody like maybe Chuck Noll? And so I ask not to tell me anything about the games. I say, I got the games on DVR. Don't tell me anything about the games. And One Pride 40 comes up with 14-0. No, that's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. One Pride. Thanks, man. Thanks, man. Thanks, man. But hey, man, happy New Year's. Funk says the reason I ask is I don't think Dan Campbell is, and he gets labeled, has labeled one like Madden. Madden was also position coach for only 2 years. The thing is with Madden was really innovative, and a lot of people don't realize that. He really changed the game. But you're asking if Dan Campbell gets labeled one like Madden. I don't know. I'll be honest with you. It never occurred to me to link Dan Campbell and John Madden. Andy Reid was a quarterbacks coach. He was never a coordinator. Never a coordinator. A lot of people don't realize that. Andy Reid was a quarterbacks coach, skipped the coordinator position, and became a head coach of Philadelphia Eagles. It was actually funny. Philly, he was like number 6 or number 7 on the list, but he nailed the interview. He just nailed the interview. And I think that Campbell kind of had the same situation, but they went ahead and really focused in on Campbell early. And I think part of it is that I think he interviewed well. I think he had a good process. And I think he's good. I think he's a good fit for Detroit. I told you guys this back during the summer. It's going to be a tough year this year. Bad year. Great future. Stabler would have fared anywhere else because he wouldn't be able to be drunk. Exactly. And the thing is, being a quote-unquote player's coach is something Madden brought that was different and that was new. And he was highly successful. Highly successful. At the time, had the highest winning percentage. I think he still has the highest winning percentage. I want to say it's like 69 or 70%. And when he was done coaching, he was done. And he was a world-class announcer. I'll always look at John Madden. When I hear Madden, I think of a great announcer. But to tell you the truth, he should be known as an innovative, great head coach, one of the greatest announcers ever. And then finally, last, should be a video game. When I hear people say, I play Madden, I hear, I don't know a lot about real football. And that's, I understand, like I used to have, when I had Corey and Homeland on, they play a lot of Madden, and they have a Madden franchise. And I'm not insulting them, but usually when somebody says I play a lot of Madden, I usually hear I don't know a lot about real football. But yeah. So Luke said the Lions have narrowed it down to 2 draft choices, Kalifdis and Hamilton. I find it interesting. Kalifdis is really interesting. Reminds me a lot of Bradley Chubb for Denver, who's a phenomenal player. I had a major draft crush on him. He went 4th overall. And I thought Chubb was a 4-3 defensive end coming out out of NC State. And Denver uses him as a 3-4 outside linebacker, very similar to Tamba Ali. Tamba Ali was drafted to play 4-3 in Herm Edwards' Tampa 2 scheme. Chiefs switched him to 3-4 outside linebacker, flourished, and just dominated. But Kalifdis, to me, would be better suited in a 4-3. But again, he reminds me a lot of Bradley Chubb, who's excelling at 3-4. Same thing with Tamba Ali. And that's high praise, by the way, calling him Bradley Chubb and Tamba Ali, but reminds me a lot. That's what Kalifdis reminds me of. I don't think that's true, though. And I'll tell you why. You don't know where you're picking. You really don't know where you're picking. And if you do get the number 1 pick in the draft, I think Hutchinson's the pick. To sit here and tell you that, it's not going to be Hamilton or I'm sorry, to tell you that's not going to be Thibodeau or it's not going to be Hutchinson. I think Thibodeau's really still on the table. Thibodeau has the highest upside of anybody in this draft. I think Thibodeau could easily be the pick. So I mean, I'm not. You know I love Luke, but to sit here and tell me in December, you know who you're picking in April, no. So, but I mean, those two guys are very high on every draft list. Karlaftis is a guy that, like I said, I really like a lot. Reminds me a lot of Bradley Chubb. We went fourth to Denver and is one of the best players in the NFL. Denver Gator, welcome, brother. Happy New Year, man. Rip Madden, always loved his personality and humor. He was quite brilliant, was very passionate for players and the integrity and legacy of the game. He is considered the first villain for the Broncos. I didn't think about it, but yeah, he was. It was kind of funny because he's like the anti-Hank Stram, because Hank Stram was very regimented and innovative with the offense. And part of the main reason that the Raiders went to small black colleges to draft Gene Upshaw and Art Shell is because the Chiefs went to small black colleges and got Buck Buchanan, Willie Lanier, and Bobby Bell. So, yeah. But, really changed the way the NFL, the Raiders drafted players just to block Buck Buchanan. And then how they won the first Super Bowl, they ran for, I think it was like at the time they ran right over the Purple People Eaters, took a page out of Kansas City's playbook, actually. Kansas City beat the Vikings in Super Bowl 4, and then the Raiders beat the Vikings in Super Bowl 10. So, but yeah, I didn't think about it, but yeah, he probably was considered a villain for Denver. I know he was kind of the anti-Hank Stram. Hank Stram won Super Bowl 4. And for those of you who don't know your history, Super Bowl 4 was the last year of the AFL. Year 5, they dissolved the AFL. They integrated it into the NFL. You have the AFC and the NFC. Longtime NFL stalwarts moved over to the AFC, which happened in Super Bowl 5, where the Baltimore Colts, longtime NFL team, moved over to the AFC and played longtime NFL team, the Dallas Cowboys, who kept on coming in second place over and over and over again. Of course, the Cowboys Super Bowl 6 ended up winning Super Bowl 6. So anyway, I'm going to stop my rant. I'm jacked up. I got an energy drink, and then I got a coffee. So I don't think Karlaftis is a good fit for the Lions, but hey, I got some things wrong once. And no, I think Karlaftis is best suited in a 4-3, but Tom Bali and Bradley Chubb, I also thought were better 4-3 defensive ends, really flourished in a 3-4. But I'll be honest with you, if you pick number 2, Hamilton could be available, Thibodeau may be available, and just to rule them off the board in December is just wrong. So, yeah. I'm Madden, boom. That's what I think. That's what I think. If you had to say Madden, boom, I can't even do it. I'm sorry. I'm embarrassed. I did Madden, boom, and it sucked. I'd be okay with Karlaftis is a good player. Now, you think we can beat Seattle? They look like they're in trouble. We'll talk about it. We're going to talk. I'm going to bring that up. I wouldn't hate Karlaftis, but Luke is positive the Lions will be trading back. Number one, Luke has been dead on with the draft. So for me to disagree or argue with Luke is not it's kind of silly, to be honest, but I don't think you can. And the reason why, let's just say you pick number 2. Let's just say Lions pick 2. Okay. You're trying, you're basically, you have Jack. Okay. Let me do this. Let me back up. I think Jacksonville at 1 is going to take a left tackle. And that means the number 1 player would be Hutchinson or Thibodeau. Excuse me. But that means at number 3, which I think is still currently Houston, you have to trade up to 2 to block Houston, who's probably going to take a defensive end. At least I think they will. Maybe a quarterback. They're gonna be very creative, and they're going to send out a lot of different signals. But they can go quarterback, they can go defensive end. But bottom line, you want to get above Houston. And you don't know what Houston's going to do. You have no idea what Houston's going to do. So you have to trade above Houston to get probably Hutchinson or Thibodeau, but there's 2 players and you don't have a quarterback. So I don't see it. I don't see the Lions 100% want to trade back. I mean, they easily want to trade back because they need talent. So he wants to trade back, but I don't think they can. Yeah, exactly. So I will go, hey man, I'm glad to hear that. Oof, how's that? Yeah, I lost that $1,000 and that was tough. That was tough. I still got 1,000. That's a push for San Francisco. I got over 8.5 with Pittsburgh, who is 7-1 with 2 games to play. So I'm hoping that I get a push. The other 4 bets I made all look really, really, really good, including the 200 up on Kansas City winning the AFC West. But for the year, I'm sweating it out. There's a good chance I'm going to take a loss this year. So yeah, Seattle bet sucked. Yeah, I see. I do too. Kalifdis really does. Yeah, he does. He does to me too. I think he's a pure 4-3 defensive end. I don't do mock drafts till after the combine, but the way I got it going right now, I got Kalifdis going to the Jets. Spoiler alert. Kalifdis would go to the Jets. He would be a 4-3 defensive end. So let's not forget one of Madden's greatest moments of all time, the moment cemented in NFL history, the giant dick draw. It was okay. It was by accident. He didn't purposefully draw a dick, but the way it looked is that. What's funny is Luke has been a lockstep almost the Lions, including that Okuda wasn't worth it. Yeah, Luke's been on fire. He has been on fire. Luke, that's why it's hard to argue with Luke G. But listen, I'm telling you right now, the Lions have no idea who they're picking. They have some. Well, let me say they have no idea. There's so much that's going to happen between December and April. So much. So, but Luke's been on fire. For me to sit here and disagree with Luke G is just silly at this point. Yeah. So okay. Yeah, it was funny. It was a joke because of Spartans won. That, by the way, congratulations on winning the Peach Bowl. I didn't get a chance to watch it. I've only watched 2 bowl games. It's natural for me when I pick up my phone to immediately go to ESPN, and I had North Carolina, South Carolina on DVR, and then I saw the score, and I didn't want to watch it. That I was like, it's so hard for me once I know the score of a game to watch it. Now, if one of you guys, please do not do this, but if one of you guys tells me a Cincinnati-Bama game, I'm going to watch it anyway, but it's so hard. It's like, damn it. I just want to keep, it's hard. I think I'm sure. I mean, yeah. You got the Lions. The Lions play has been going up and up, and there's a lot of question marks about Seattle. So I mean, definitely fair. Before I get going on the bets, I do want to talk about the Hall of Fame committee. The 15 finalists have been named, plus the 2 senior analysts. And I hate doing this, but I'm going to be honest. I don't think Dick Vermeil belongs in the Hall of Fame. I just don't. Great coach. Very happy for him if he gets in. If I'm voting, I would vote no. Cliff Branch and Dick Vermeil are part of the senior ballot. So after you go through, there's a process. You go through the regular, and then there's a process where you're on the senior ballot, and Cliff Branch and Dick Vermeil on the senior ballot. And Cliff Branch should have been in the Hall of Fame a long time ago. I will argue Cliff Branch is my number one. Him and Otis Taylor, former Chief, those 2 guys have to be in the Hall of Fame. Otis Taylor needs to be in the Hall of Fame. Cliff Branch needs to be in the Hall of Fame. So this will be the year for Cliff Branch, and I'm really excited about that. Out of the 15 finalists, if you say, give me a reason why every one of these guys needs to be in the Hall of Fame, I can give you multiple reasons. Every single one. I can give you reasons. Okay. I'm going to do an energy drink now. I am very jacked up today. Every single one of these candidates for the Hall of Fame, I can argue, should be in. I'm going to give you my number 1 and number 2, number 3 and number 4. And I only got 4. I'm going to give you I'm going to break them down. The best player on this list is Andre Johnson. Forget numbers. I got cotton mouth. I'm not. That energy drink is like, eh. All right. Andre Johnson is the best player on this list. Forget numbers. When you talk about the greatest receivers of all time, Andre Johnson never comes into that category. People don't mention him, but they should. This dude was 6'3", 230. He ran every single route on the route tree. He had phenomenal hands. He blocked. He had 4.3 speed, legitimate 4.3. He was a deep threat at 6'3", 230, but he was an intermediate threat. He blocked. He did everything. Man, excuse me. But he was a soft-spoken guy. He wasn't, if he had a personality like Chad Johnson or Terrell Owens, T.O., or Michael Irvin, he would be considered one of the greatest of all time. He also played in a small market in Houston. If this guy had an OBJ type personality and played in New York, people would be talking about him as a top 5 wide receiver. Easy. Andre Johnson's the best player on this list. Andre Johnson is the most underrated player on this list. So he's my number 1 guy. Number 2 is Demarcus Ware. And these 2 guys are getting in no matter what. 2 guys that have been on the Hall of Fame list but have not gotten in the Hall of Fame that 100% need to be in the Hall of Fame are Zach Thomas and Sam Mills. The fact that these 2 guys are not in the Pro Football Hall of Fame is just wrong. So that's my list. These 4 guys this would be on my list, and you're supposed to get 5. All right. Like I said, I can argue about all these guys. I can't really pick a 5th one out. But I will say this, the best player out of the remaining, but I don't know if you could put him in, but the best actual player is Tony Baselli. But he played for such a short period of time. But when he did play, he was the best. Tony Baselli played, I think he played 6 years, maybe 7 years. But when he did play, he was the best. Actually, maybe even including Andre Johnson. But when he was there, when he played, he was the best. It's just he played for a short period of time. And Jacksonville, of course, a small market, and he never went to a Super Bowl. But anyway, so that's my Hall of Fame list. I will tell you right now, if Zach Thomas, Sam Mills are not in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, I will just no, that's just wrong. So now I'm going to go over the NFL games. I'm using my bookie for everything. I'm going to go in order. I'm going to get your questions here, though. One of the Madden moments always stick out to me was in the movie Little Giants. The best play ever, the annexation of Ed O'Neill, Rick Moranis. I've not seen it. I think I might have seen bits and pieces of it. Wasn't Steve Ettman in it? For those who remember Steve Ettman, 1990, number 1 pick overall, just a ton of injuries, played in like 24 games. Whoa, the leader of the greatest show on turf. By the way, you need to. Yes, I am. I'm going to watch that. Loved Kurt Warner. His story's amazing, and people complain he's too Christian. And that. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm going to stop. Andre Johnson, an absolute beast. I think if he was a big arm QB and stayed healthier, people talk. Yeah, exactly, Funk. Exactly. Calvin Johnson is better than Andre Johnson, but like by this much. Do you think the Hawk? I actually don't think so. They don't have a number 1 this year, but they do have a number 2. They've been creative in the past. And they also have been in the past. They got really, really good players from nowhere. Richard Sherman's a 5th round pick. I think Cam Chancellor was undrafted. Russell Wilson was a 3rd round pick. Chris Carson was a 7th round pick. They were able to find players, and Dwayne Eskridge, he's been injured most of the year. He was their 1st pick. I think it was 2nd or 3rd round pick. When he gets integrated into the offense from next year, you're going to have 3 really, really good receivers, maybe the best trio of wide receivers in the National Football League. Plus you have Russell Wilson, who's a Hall of Fame quarterback. I don't think so, but there's been lots of talk about Russell Wilson moving, lots of talk about Pete Carroll moving. And I really think that they'll come back. I think everybody's going to come back, and I think that they'll go back to being a double-digit win team. I think this is just a hiccup. First time in Russell Wilson's career he's missed games. The defense is not great. But I mean, they're going to make some changes, but I don't think so, but I'm in a small minority. The reason no one ever talks of Andre is because his humble demeanor, put his head down, played out of his mind with the media. Yeah. I didn't go into detail about the bad quarterbacks. They kept on trying to draft quarterbacks and didn't work out. And he was a quiet dude. Very quiet, like Barry Sanders, just didn't really want to be part of the limelight, soft-spoken guy. I remember he went to the University of Miami, and Reggie Wayne actually hosted him, and he's like, he goes, I didn't think he was going to come here because he didn't say anything. He just, he just hung out, and I thought he had a terrible time, and then he signs here, and we're like, what the hell? But yeah, he never said anything. Never said anything. Dominant receiver in college. Maybe a member of the greatest college football team of all time. That's the lot. There's like in the last 20 years, there's been like 7 teams that could say they're the greatest college football team of all time. But that Miami team that won the national championship and arguably won against Ohio State, a lot of people feel like that was one of the greatest. Andre Johnson was part of that team. Can you imagine that, having Reggie Wayne graduate and then you replace him with Andre Johnson? Pride, I said at the beginning of the year, if the Hawks don't win this year, at least one playoff game, they would blow it. I actually think I remember that. Yeah. Hawks definitely going to blow it up. Russell goes to Broncos. Carroll retires. I don't think that, but I mean, you are not alone, Denver Gator. You are not alone in thinking that. Oh, wow, you haven't seen Little Giants. I have kids. So, yeah, I don't have kids. So my first was born in, okay. Yeah. If your firstborn was in 96, you had to see it. No, I think I've seen bits and pieces of it, and I know what it's about, but I don't have kids either. They'll get some number ones from Denver, maybe a 2nd and a 3rd. It's funny, out of the teams that he said he wanted to go to, I don't think Denver was on the list. He said this at the beginning of last year, like he mentioned Chicago, New York. I don't think he mentioned Denver, but I could be wrong. Pride, I didn't say it a lot. If I get bored, I'll look up on the video. I said it on the Rams channel I follow. Okay. I believe you. I believe you. And I think I remember that, a lot of people feel like that, that would be a lot of people think that's what would have happened if they didn't win at least one playoff game, so they were going to blow it up. So you're not alone. Not alone. Look at me, Pro Bowlers Hall of Fame. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. It was funny after Ray Lewis left, the secondary for, I'm trying to remember. It was all 4 of the players ended up going either in the 1st or 2nd round. It was I'm trying to remember here. It was Philip Buchanan, Felipe Sparks. Sparks went to Miami, or Sparks also went to Baltimore, helped them win that Super Bowl. Ed Reed. Oh God, who's the other one? But yeah. There was a time Miami had like some really great players in the late 90s and 2000s. Just some really, 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 really good teams. Pride, if you got the first time Campbell spoke, they announced their shopping Stafford. Campbell described QB is looking for. It fits Russ perfectly. Wait a minute. Hold on. Do you know what would be weird to say Russell? Okay. Russell Wilson, before the season, announced that, he wouldn't mind being traded, and he mentioned 4 teams. Big market, and it's because his wife, I think she's a singer, Sierra. I don't follow pop culture, so I think she's a singer. I think she was married to 50 Cent. I don't know. But anyway, to help her career, he was willing to go to a big market. Detroit does not fit that. So if Russell Wilson does leave Seattle, it will not be to Detroit. I can tell you that right now. It'll be to a major market. It'll be something like New York or Chicago. He's not going to Dallas, but Dallas, LA, it'll be one of those major markets. And I don't think that's going to happen. I could see a situation because New York has 2 first-round picks. I could see New York being interested because I don't think they're sold on Daniel Jones. But yeah. I was born. Yeah, it's weird because this whole time I thought you're about closer to my age. I'm 47, so yeah. I probably said it to Dan when you told me to. Yeah, but yes, he does. Yes, he does. When Dan Campbell describes a quarterback, he talks about somebody like very, very similar to Russell Wilson. Oh God, there's so many players. There's so many players at Miami. Sapp. It's funny because Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, talks about playing at the University of Miami. Then they had a tight end move over to defensive tackle by the name of Warren Sapp, who took his job. And he has a whole story about that. And Warren Sapp's like, that never happened. But, he's a Hollywood star. And, so, yeah, you have The Rock, Warren Sapp. I mean, we could go on about all the Miami players. They had some great running backs too. It was Frank Gore. They had the giant neck. Denver Broncos running back went to Washington, and Washington sent Champ Bailey over. God, what was his name? He was really good, by the way. He was really, really, really good running back. I'm drawing a blank. Oh God, they had like 3 first-round running backs for a while. God, drawing a blank. Sean Taylor. Oh, I will argue Sean Taylor deserved the Heisman. When the Florida schools are good, college football is just better. And it's just a shame because Florida State, I don't think will ever get there. I think Florida, I'm not sold on that coach they got, but I would take Wilson. I'm shocked to hear that. I would not. Both are Hall of Fame quarterbacks, though. Rock seems like he's the fakest. Mike, welcome, man. Sapp said he was the best player. He might have been, but it's actually funny. He came out of high school as a tight end. And at the time, they had multiple defensive tackles go early in the first round. It was Jerome Brown. He replaced Jerome Brown, who would have been in the Hall of Fame if he didn't die. Jerome Brown's really good. And there's somebody before him, I'm drawing a complete blank, who was an absolute monster too. God, he was in Seattle and was just dominant for some of those Seahawks teams. I'm drawing a complete blank. But when he came out of the draft, I think he came out as a junior. There was reports that he failed multiple drug tests. And so he slipped. I think Tampa Bay picked him, I want to say like 7th, 8th, or 9th, and he should have gone number 1. But Sapp said that, and most people agreed with him. I think I'm going to say 12th. Actually, it was 12th. I remember the Jets chose Kyle Brady, the tight end out of Penn State, and Jets fans were pissed. And they should have been because he wasn't that good of a tight end. Didn't deserve to go in the top 10. Good tight end prospect. Should have gone in the first round, just not top 10. I grew up in Florida during the 3 Florida teams being so dominant. Lots of bitter rivalries. Clinton Portis, that was it. It was Frank Gore, Clinton Portis, and then the guy who got injured in the Orange Bowl. He went in the first round to Buffalo. Was a really good running back for a while. They had those 3 stud running backs. They had we can go on about Miami. The Rock barely played. Yeah. He barely played, but if you YouTube it, you can find a story. I think he gives like a motivational speech about how Warren Sapp took his job, and Warren Sapp said the story's complete bullshit, but I didn't know this. I didn't know this. I would, I'm very jealous because I've seen the FAU stadium. Willis McGahee, yes, that's it. It was Frank Gore, then Clinton Portis. Frank Gore went in the third round because he had 2 ACL injuries, and so he went in the third round. And then Clinton Portis replaced him, went in the first round. Willis McGahee had that injury in the Orange Bowl, still went in the first round to Buffalo. Willis McGahee might have been the best. Apparently, him and Clinton Portis got into it when they were in Miami. Clinton Portis apparently was kind of a dick. Clinton Portis was really good, folks. So, I didn't know this, but the FAU stadium looks really cool. I remember when Lane Kiffin went there, and if you ever watched Last Chance U, a lot of those players from Last Chance U went to FAU with Lane Kiffin. So this is awesome. I don't do the horses, but I love the horse racing. They used to have a greyhound. It was greyhounds in horse tracks. They shut it down, but me and my buddy went. When I hit a trifecta, like my first or second dog race, and I got hooked on it. So, man, that's awesome, Mike. That's awesome, Mike. For Detroit, yes. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay. What about having Thurman Thomas and Barry Sanders? Yeah. It's a 7-year stretch. Thurman Thomas for 4 years was a 2-time All-American. Barry Sanders was the punt kick returner. And it was funny because Switzer's like, don't injure Thurman because they got this kid, Barry. Barry really only started 1 year. So, yeah, the Eagles are rolling. Okay, let's segue into this. Let's start talking about the NFL. All right. I'm using my bookie. The links below if you want to go ahead and use my referral link. But Raiders and Colts is the first game up. This line's been going up. The Colts are now a 7-point favorite as they are rolling for the playoffs. I think they start off like 1-6 or something. Jonathan Taylor is my MVP right now, and I don't know the exact numbers. I want to say I can't remember. I'm not going to look it up because I don't want to see the score of the Cincy Alabama game because I got on DVR. I have no idea what's going on. He is close to 2,000. A massive game here could maybe get him to 2,000. Colts are a 7-point favorite at home. The over-under is 44.5, both defenses. Believe it or not, the Raiders' defense is not playing bad. And one pride, please. I got the game on DVR. Please, no updates. I got the game on DVR. So, but I understand. I understand. But I got it on DVR. I'm going to watch Alabama-Cincy game. Then I'm going to watch Georgia-Michigan right afterwards. So don't tell me anything. No, that's all right, man. That's okay. That's okay, man. No more updates, please. But I mean, I agreed to do the show. So if somebody has to tell me the score, somebody's got to tell me a score. I got to live with that. So I like the Colts here. All right, the Colts 7-point favorites. I like them to win. I like them to cover. It's a big number, but I think the Raiders are really kind of looking towards next year. The Colts, maybe the hottest team in the AFC besides Kansas City, but I got Jonathan Taylor as my MVP. Could hit 2,000. Next game, Tampa Bay at New York. The Jets are a 13-point. Oh my God, a 13-point home dog. I have not checked the weather report. The over-under is 45.5. Bet against Tampa Bay if you want. There's an old adage: if you bet on the highest point spread, you'll win like 70% of the time or something. That highest point spread is actually the other game, which is Atlanta at Buffalo. Buffalo is a 14.5-point home favorite. The over-under is 44. Without checking the weather report, I actually like the over on this game. I don't bet on 13, 14-point NFL point spreads. Next game, I got Philly at Washington. Philly is a 4-point favorite at Washington. Division games are tough, but I love Philly in this one. Philly's actually really surprising me. But this is going to be a good one. You know what? I apologize. I lied to you. The biggest point spread's New England, 16.5 at home against Jacksonville. Wow. But let me get some comments here. Not saying this is a Gator homer. Hiring the Napier is exactly what they needed. Not a splash name, but recruit better and bring a winning mentality. Last few coaches were just X's and O's. You know more about this than I do, but in my opinion, Florida is one of the premier jobs in college football. It's an elite job. LSU brings Brian Kelly. You guys get Napier. One is bigger than the other. I think Napier is a complete roll of the dice. You have a guy who succeeded in the Sun Belt, decent recruiter in the Sun Belt. Now you're taking him to the SEC where he needs to go against Saban. I mean, look at the top 3 recruiting classes. It's Texas A&M, Alabama, and Georgia. And, he better. But I think it's a risk, and I think they should have gone somebody else. I think they should have gone somebody else. I'm pulling for it because I'm not saying this because I'm trying to kiss your ass. It's just college football's better when Florida has a top 10 team. College football's just better. I don't know if that's a guy who can build you a top 10 team. Winning 8 to 10 games in the Sun Belt is completely different than competing for a national championship. Yeah, Brian Kelly at LSU, you're bringing a no-name in Napier. Now, he did coach under Nick Saban. He was successful. He does have a track record in being able to recruit, but being able to recruit in the Sun Belt when you're going after 1- and 2-star players and competing against Alabama for 5-star players is different. So I hope it works. But I still think that they should go on for a bigger name. 38 minutes till the show starts seems like a good time. Okay. I'm not mad at you, Wood Pride. And everyone keeps saying Cup. Does anyone else not agree? Without Taylor, my team would be absolutely terrible. The Rams always have a good defense. I keep hearing Cup also, but you got other receivers around him. You got Stafford. You have an elite defense. Does anybody think Cup's a better player than Aaron Donald? I don't think so. So, but I got Taylor as my MVP. So, yeah. Going to a party to stop by and say hi. Hey, man. Hey, Mike, have fun. Have a great new year. And I will see you next year, my friend. Hey, man, I'm very glad you're here. And let me know of all the action that you're going to put. You can always email me or hit me up on my website. Either way, man. But enjoy. Pride one more, and I might have to put you. Colts -7 if Wentz plays, but still went outright. I like them to win and cover. But no, it's all good. It's all good, brother. It's all good. Be safe, my friend. So you think Green Bay takes the number 1 seed? Right now they're in the lead. I've not been sold on Green Bay all year, but the more I watch them, I mean, you can run the ball. You have a good defense. You got Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, why not? Why not? Philly -4. Yeah, Philly is solid. I'm actually surprised the number stayed so far down. So, yeah, the Buckeyes have. I'll be honest. college football wise, going into the bowl season, I know they lost to Michigan, but if it's like best out of 3 or best out of 5, Ohio State wins. I just thought that after losing 7 straight or 8 straight or whatever it was just time. But Ohio State, to me, the top 3 teams was Georgia, Alabama, and Ohio State. And Ohio State has a lot of talent coming back. That quarterback running back duo is amazing. So, yeah, Taylor and Kupp both. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, yeah, I'm not saying Kupp doesn't deserve to be in conversation. I just got Taylor over Kupp. That's all. But it's all about QB. So, Mr. Aaron Rodgers, more than likely, Rodgers will do it. You can debate that. I don't have Brady or Rodgers there, but more of those guys will probably win it. Kupp only had 1 off game. He saw 8 catch of 100. Yes, Kupp deserves to be in the conversation. So, all right. Next game, I've been meaning to check the weather report. I haven't yet, but Kansas City goes to Cincinnati. Kansas City's a 4.5-point favorite. I, of course, like Kansas City in this one. The last time Cincinnati had a big win, got to first place in the AFC North, they lost 2 games in a row. There was all sorts of talk, and then Burrow's like, yeah, this isn't Pee-wee. We can run up the score. It's like they're doing a victory lap. I never once heard them say, hey, we're focused on Kansas City. It's like they're still talking about the Baltimore win, and you're going against the best team in the AFC. This could get ugly. This could be a big win for Kansas City. I seriously wouldn't be surprised if Kansas City wins this by 3 touchdowns. Wouldn't be surprised. I might put action on this one. I haven't checked the weather report yet. And then I apologize because I keep seeing the biggest line, and then Jacksonville is a 16.5-point dog at New England. I would definitely don't touch this game because New England's offense is a run-based offense, a lot of dinks and dunks. But I mean, I'd be shocked if they didn't win this game. So I'm most surprised about this line. Tennessee's a 3.5-point favorite at home against Miami. I'm really, really, really looking forward to this game. Miami's pushing for a playoff spot. Tennessee seeing if they can hold on to the AFC North lead. This is going to be a fun game to watch. Over-unders 39.5. Both teams play really good defenses. I actually love Miami in this one. I actually think Miami may win this one outright. So if you can get 3.5, so this may be one I'm might be putting action on. Next one, LA travels to Baltimore. Baltimore is a 5.5-point dog at home. So many injuries. I don't think Lamar Jackson's playing in this game. Haven't seen the injury report. I'm not going on ESPN because I don't want to know anything about the games that are going on right now. But I do like the Rams, even though West Coast team traveling to the East Coast. That would be something I would worry about, especially for an early game. But the Rams, I think, are really kind of synced in here. So, all right. So before I go to the evening games here, I'm excited for the Lions off season. You are getting a strong finish. You won a couple games. Excuse me. Right? The energy drink coffee combination's doing a number on my stomach. I'm still drinking both though. But you are getting a strong finish. You're getting a great finish. Actually, the teams. Here's the thing. At the beginning of the year, here's what I said. You're going to have a bad year, but you want the team to play better as the year goes along. And that's what you're getting. And then if you're sold on your quarterback, which I don't think you guys are, but let's say you're sold on Goff, you're going to have pieces to build around. And this is the right draft to build around. So everything's looking really good. And we're going to do a ton of draft stuff. So sorry, that was the Michigan in my blood. So I got one against Michigan too. How do you make Michigan? You put them in a bowl. Cincy weather, 30 degrees or so, 20% snow. A lot of people don't realize snow does not affect an NFL game. I would love to see snow, and if the over/under drops, I'm gonna put action. Right now it's 51. Both teams have a good defense. That's kind of why I worry. My buddy was in Vegas. He took the Chiefs Steelers under, and I was like, everything indicated that it would be an under. Is 45.5. It didn't, and he lost. He ended up losing that single, and he had a 4-game parlay, and he hit the other 3. So Georgia fans might want to use that one later, depending. They only got blown out. Yeah, and that's what you want to see. That's what you want to see. And then they're playing better at the end of the year than they are at the beginning of the year. And they have they have such a talent deficit. That's why they want to trade back, get more picks. But anyway, we're going to talk a lot about the Lions draft time. Denver is a 7.5 point. Wow, this line's jumped dramatically. The Chargers are a 7.5 point favorite. I might just put money on Denver here. I don't know if Denver wins this game, but they cover 7. I'm probably going to put action on the Chargers here. They lose to Houston and they're favored by over a touchdown. I don't get that. I really don't. I'm actually going to put action on the other way. I wish Corey was here. Let me know what he thinks here. Arizona is a 6-point dog heading to Dallas. It's a shame because Arizona was so hot and they're so injury riddled. So injury riddled. Over under is 51.5. I'm going to pass on this one completely, but I like Arizona. I like Arizona, even though they're injury riddled. I think that they need this one to get in. Carolina at the Saints. Saints are a 6.5 point favorite. Kind of a shame that they had. I think Hill's back at the quarterback. I don't know. Again, I'm not watching ESPN, so I don't know anything about this. The 2 bowl games, the 2 college football playoff bowl games, but I think Taysom Hill's back at quarterback here, and Carolina is there's all sorts of talk about the quarterback position, what they're going to do in the draft, and there's even talk about Matt Rule being fired. He's not. He signed a 7-year, $60 million contract. He's in year 2. They fired the offensive coordinator, so he's 100% staying. So I do like the Saints in this one. The over/under is 37.5, which is really low, but accurate. I would take the Saints, but I'm avoiding this one like the plague. Calling it Caldwell's a Jet. I think so too. I think so too. Apparently, he's done everything except actually take the job. Apparently, there's been a lot of conversation between the two. I don't know what the general manager situation was like because Meyer had player control. I don't think they're going to do that with Caldwell. So I kind of want to know what's going on. I think they actually have a GM, but it's sort of like Urban Meyer had player control. I don't know what's going to happen. So, but yeah, I'm sorry. Doug Peterson is what I meant. Doug Peterson's been there, not Caldwell. I got the names mixed up. Sorry. I think it's going to be Doug Peterson, but you got Caldwell, and I think Peterson's actually already been working with. I think basically everything's been done except Peterson just hasn't signed yet. But I think he's actually. But I've heard Peterson and Caldwell. I think it's going to be Peterson, but I think so too, man. I think so too. 4-1. I didn't know that, but that's my number one game. I actually thought it was a lot less. I thought it was 3 or 4 or something. I have no idea why it's 7.5. But yeah, I'm probably gonna put if it's still 7.5, I might actually still put So I think it's Hill. I'm almost positive it's Taysom Hill. I told you at the beginning of the year I liked Arizona. I thought they'd be a playoff team, but I don't trust Cliff at the end of the year. And here we go again to fall off. Yeah, I do remember you said that. And I think so too. And here's the deal. Running quarterbacks in the playoffs are dangerous. And Arizona's in. So when they hit the playoffs, if they get they get J.J. Watt back, and Watt may come back. He's not going to be 100%, but if he comes back, it will help. And DeAndre Hopkins comes back, they're very dangerous. Running quarterbacks in the playoffs scared the shit out of me. I watched Colin Kaepernick win in Green Bay by running the ball. I watched Michael Vick win a playoff game against Brett Favre by running the ball. Running quarterbacks in the playoffs are very, very dangerous in a one and done. Now, who do you want to win in the playoffs? Tom Brady or Kyler Murray? Of course, you're going to take Brady. Aaron Rodgers or Kyler Murray. Oh yeah, Arizona falling off the cliff. That is pretty funny. But running quarterbacks in the playoffs scared the shit out of me. I remember, I think it was 2016, the Chiefs were up 21-3 against Tennessee, and Marcus Mariota started making plays. It was actually the next year that they made the big trade to bring in Patrick Mahomes. But running quarterbacks are dangerous in the playoffs, man. They really are. So, yeah, Taysom Hill. Cardinals not a good time to fall apart facing the Cowboys. Yuck, and they are. But I think they actually turn it around. Balky is still the GM. Okay, I told you Judge would say. I'm still not 100% sure that I think he's going to stay, but he's not off the hot seat. And if he does stay, and if him and Zimmer stay, those are my two coaches that are 100% on the hot seat. So if Caldwell gets a job, that would be too funny. Caldwell lost his job to Radisha. If Radisha gets tossed and Devil took over. Now Bedwell hopes it is kind of funny. Arizona falling off the cliffs. It is pretty good. And next game, Detroit at Seattle. Seattle is a 7-point favorite. I know Lions fans feel like there's blood in the water and they get a chance. I like the over on this game. It's 41.5. I don't know what the weather report's like, but you got to take the over on this one. Neither defense is really good. Offense has some playmakers on Seattle's side. Lions offense, even though they lost their tight end, I don't know if DeAndre Swift's going to play, but they've had some players coming in. Amon-Ra St. Brown has been stepping up over the last couple of weeks. So I actually like the over on this one. Seattle's not a good enough team for 7. Detroit's not a good enough team to take, but I actually like the over without checking the weather report. I think Seattle wins. I wouldn't bet on them to cover 7. I know Lions fans think that you can win this game, and you have all the reasons. This is actually going to be a fun game. I'm actually looking forward to this, but I think I would be shocked if Seattle didn't win, but it's probably going to be a close game. I love the over. I might actually put action on the over. Hey, Caldwell's a good coach to rebuild a culture, but that's about it. And he would be, and that makes a lot of sense. But I think that Peterson's been doing a lot of talk, and Peterson's both guys are offensive guys, and I think both would be good for Trevor Lawrence. But I almost called him Tannehill, but I have to admit though, I think Peterson's going to be the guy. But both would be good fits. So take the points, no Goff, and Swift is okay. Swift is back, but without Goff, Seattle. Caldwell's a good dude, just not a good coach. I feel the same way about Herm Edwards. I loved Herm Edwards. I loved his press conferences. I love everything about Herm. I hated him as head coach. By the way, I watched that bowl game. I watched Arizona State, Wisconsin. And if you have not seen this Wisconsin freshman running back yet, oh my God, he's 17, 6'2", 240, had over 1,000 yards rushing. He's going to win a Heisman Trophy. He will, over the next 2 years, if he's healthy, he will run for over 4,000 yards. I mean, this guy is just amazing. He's 17. He was actually going to be a linebacker. He's 6'2", 240. Oh God. Some people watch porn. I watch stud running backs, and this guy is as good as it gets. He is going to be a lot of fun to watch. 17, 6'2", 240. He looks like he could bulk up to 260. Oh God, this a major man crush on this kid. Major man crush. I can't think of the guy's name, the quarterback for Oklahoma. He's probably my Heisman favorite going into 2022 and then 2023, Braylon Smith. If you haven't had a chance to watch this kid play yet, if you are a fan of running backs, this guy, you got to love this kid. 6'2", 240, and he's 17. 17. He looks like he could put on another 20 pounds, and he doesn't have that breakaway speed like Jonathan Taylor did, but he can run away from college linebackers at 240. Just a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Problem is, I think Caldwell's too soft. That's why I didn't know this. Final game is probably Big Ben's last game in Pittsburgh. Cleveland travels to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's a 3.5-point favorite. I really need this game for Pittsburgh to cover my 8.5. They lose this one. All I can do is a push. I have no idea how Vegas will do the tie, but I'm really needing Pittsburgh to win the next two games so I can get the win. I like Pittsburgh to win outright, so I will probably put action on Pittsburgh, and I absolutely love Denver here at 7.5. So, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it live. I am going to put action on Denver. I bet $25 on it. And I am going to put action on the Steelers. Doing it live. So I'm taking action on Pittsburgh. 25 on Pittsburgh. And I might put action on my Chiefs. I'm going to hold off on that one. I actually really like Philly too. Philly and 4, but anyway. So that is my show, man. I went through all the games. I know Georgia's up 17-30, which I'm not mad. By the way, everybody who's in the chat, thank you very much for not telling me anything about the Alabama Cincinnati game. I know that a lot of you guys want to say something, have comments, and we'll talk about both those games next week. So thank you very much for not saying anything. I have no idea. I've been dying to go on social media or ESPN just to check it out, but I haven't because I wanted to come on. I wanted to do the show. I want to wish everybody a great new year. This is my favorite thing in the world to do is to talk football. Everybody here, a lot of regulars here. I can't thank you guys enough. I wish there was more I could do with you guys. I offer my advice, but the thing is, though, with gambling this year's been a bad year for me. Even if I end up with a positive, I've had to wait till December 31st, and I still need. Out of my 3 big bets, one's a loss, and I need things to happen December 31st. So it's not been a good year. Now my 4 small bets are all in good shape. 200 for Kansas City to win AFC West. I won. Kansas City at 12.5. They need to win out. And as of right now, it looks like they'll win out and then they'll just put their backups in against Denver to finish 12-5, which would lose to 100. Raiders over 8. Right now they got 8 wins, so that's a push. And then the Jets under 6 at 4-11. Again, they just need to lose one of their next couple games. So who did Jets have this week? Who did Jets have? Tampa Bay. Yeah, so that's probably going to happen. So, yeah. So that's what I got, man. Dude gave people extra time off for no reason other than vets. He didn't have them run in preseason. That's why people bitch about Patricia so early. Literally complained about running. Never on board with Caldwell. I remember when they hired Caldwell. He basically went to the Lions brass and said, I can fix Stafford. And he had all sorts of problems with Stafford's mechanics. And Stafford was like at between 60 and 62% completion percentage. And he did. He worked with Stafford and he got Stafford up to like 68, 69% completion percentage, which with at the time, because the offense was designed that Stafford would just take shots downfield, use the massive arm that he has. Caldwell really transformed Stafford around. And then he also liked the Tampa 2 defense that helped him win a Super Bowl in Indianapolis. But Caldwell's a guy I always thought was a really good offensive coordinator. But I remember when Manning went down and they won 2 games, I was like, you got to be kidding me, because they had Hall of Famers on that defense. The offense was still pretty good. And they could only win 2 games. And remember, they drafted Andrew Luck, and then they got rid of Manning. And it was really hard for me to say that. How can you be a great coach? Look. If you here, I'm going to tell you this right now. Are the Chiefs winning the AFC West without Mahomes? No. But if you took Mahomes away from the Kansas City Chiefs, I still think they would be better than 2-14 or 2-15. That's why I wasn't really sold on Caldwell. No, Funk, thank you, man. Thank you. I can't thank you guys enough for joining the show and let me do the thing that I love to do more than anything else, and that's just talk football. So yeah, man, thank you. And I'm gonna wrap this up in a few minutes. I'm just here to hook up with the ladies and get some good betting advice. I guess 50% is not that bad. Hopefully I win those 2 bets. And I like I said, I went to Vegas for $4,450. And once the season's over, I will give you the exact number that I will collect. So I know that the San Francisco bet's a push. I'm still hoping I can. They lose one of their next 2 games, I win $1,500. And then I have no idea about the Steelers. I need a win. I need at least. I'm hoping I can get back-to-back wins. So. I do think Campbell is the right guy. And I said this from the very beginning. It's going to be a brutal season this year, but the future is really bright. And I believe that. You got a lot of draft picks. I hated it. I absolutely hated it. He fixed Stafford. All he did was shorten the field and threw way too. Yeah, and that's what he did. Is he helped Stafford, but I don't think he helped Stafford, but I don't think he really improved the team. And then Patricia was just kind of the opposite, not really what you needed. And I think Campbell is exactly what you need, but your talent level is so low. That's why you want to get out and trade down and get more picks. And that's why when draft season comes around, Detroit's going to be a very interesting team. Not only you have 2 picks in the first round, you want to trade down. Plus, I think at the start of free agency, you're going to see a lot of players signed. It wouldn't surprise me if you, like day one of free agency, you sign like maybe 2 or 3 big names. You could have some big names coming to Detroit very, very soon. So, yeah. He wanted to run the same offense that they ran in Indianapolis under Peyton Manning, which was a high passing offense. But one thing that people forget is that they had Adrian James, who's in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, really, really good running back. And that Manning also had a lot of control over that offense. And I'm not insulting Stafford, but he didn't have the Manning type control. He never was given a Manning type control, and he never was given a running back. They wanted to throw the ball more. So, and I'm not insulting Stafford by saying he's not as good as Manning. That's not an insult. But you have to understand, you had Manning, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, Reggie Wayne, Marvin Harrison, Wayne's not a Hall of Famer yet, but he will be. Marvin Harrison's a Hall of Famer. And then Dallas Clark, tight end, Adrian James, Hall of Famer. And he had the ability to change plays on the fly, and he had the intelligence. Stafford, he never gave that control to. Am I saying he's not as intelligent as Manning on as far as the NFL goes? I think that's fair to say. And that's not an insult. top 5 most intelligent quarterbacks of all time. Peyton Manning's probably on that list. So one safety in the secondary is good. And then don't forget, if you're talking about the Lions, you're going to get Okuda back. That rookie corner you got's really good. And I think that you also have that rookie linebacker who's going to be pretty good. You drafted 2 defensive linemen, is going to be pretty good. Lots of young players on that front 7. And then you're going to add, I guarantee you're going to have at least one pass rusher in this draft. So yeah, he threw the ball way too much. I don't see big names unless they're under 27. Seriously, I think they're going to go with the draft heavy rebuild. I disagree. I think you're going to see some big names and a lot of players via free agency. And then you're also going to see a lot of players with the draft. I think you're going to see just a mass. I think 3 years from now, I wouldn't be surprised if there's like 5 to 10 players left on this roster. So a happy New Year's to everyone. Good luck in your bets. May your teams win out unless you're Kansas City. Go Broncos. Go. Dude, 4 years as a head coach and not one time the Lions have 100. Yeah, I didn't know it was quite that bad, but they like – I remember I think Reggie Bush may have had 100 yards, and that was it. And I think he complained that they weren't running the balls as much. So, yeah, it was not a good year. Marvin Lewis is very underrated. He actually serves as a special assistant to Herm Edwards at Arizona State. And there's some rumors that he's a head coaching candidate. And if I'm an NFL team, I would really entertain interviewing Marvin Lewis. So listen, guys, I'm out of here. I'm going to watch some college football. Thank you all very, very much. Happy New Year. Again, I'm going to steal this from Luke G. Luke, if you're watching, if you're out there, man, I'm stealing this from you. I want to hear from you. I do not want to be here about you. So please be safe. Enjoy the New Year's. Thank you so much for not telling me anything about Cincinnati, Bama. I'm going to go watch it right now. Happy New Year's. I'll see you all next Friday.